Okay, guys, so today, well, yeah, today, it'll be a whole different day today. I'm going to be talking about this ammunition right here. It's called the Winchester 22 WMR 22 mag. Well, it's 22 Magnum, 22 Win Mag, basically. It's a Winchester um, cartridge. The 22 Win Mag is a Winchester cartridge, and I'm going to be talking about it real quick. And I want to show you guys something here uh, about the 22 Win Mag. Well, for what Win Magnum ammo, for one thing, it kind of shows like where's they at? It shows on the box. Oh yeah, right there. If you can see that. It's got a little picture of a groundhog, woodchuck. It's also got a picture of a squirrel, and right here on the front of it, and I'll try to let you see it. But it says right here on the front, it says varmint and small game. So basically, it's a varmint load. It's a lighter caliber varmint load. But I'm gonna explain the diversity of this round and what this round is good for and what it can do. And I'm going to explain something why I think that the 22 Magnum is the ultimate SHTF caliber. It pretty much is. The bullets, a box like this is about 50 bucks. Well, there's things online, you can look it up, but there's things online like you can go to certain websites and you can buy like 1,000 rounds for well, 2,000 rounds is like 600 bucks. 600 bucks, that makes about $15 a box, and that's some people call it Fiocchi. I call it Fiocchi. But anyway, you can buy like 20 round boxes, and they're coming 20 round box. 2,000 rounds is about 600 to 700 bucks, and that's like on AmmunitionDepot.com, and let's see, Lucky Gunner is another one where you can buy 2,000 rounds, about 600 to 700 bucks, depends on what you want to get. And this Jacket Hollow Point, let's see, it says 1,910 feet per second. It's a 40 grain bullet, and I think it's it's Jacket Hollow Point bullet. So let me pull this round out. I'm going to pull out one of the 22 LR rounds. Everybody always says take a 22 LR. I say if you're going to go for it, why not just go for the gold? Just get something a little bit better. And since you're going to go carry a 22 and you're going to do this and that, why not just go with more punch and more power? And I'm going to explain a little something better about these. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff too, man. Oh yeah, this is the soft points. And it doesn't really say soft point. It says Jacketed Hollow Point. But no, it says it's a soft point, but it is a soft point. It says it's got a copper. It says it's got the copper. It's got a soft point right there. It means it expands when it hits. That's the good stuff right there. That's hunt rounds. So one thing, a disadvantage to it is a rim fire. It's not a center fire thing. It's one of the reasons why you don't really reload these, or not too many people do. It's a real pain in the butt. You have to take a punch, and you have to take a punch and kind of punch it back out to be able to knock this out back smooth. And then you take something like then you take some prime ball, put in there. Then you got to put your powder in. Then you put your little projectile in. It's such a pain in the butt that most people just don't even try to do it. They just buy new ones because they're just so dang cheap. I mean, the bottom line is it's just so cheap. It just, it kind of makes sense. But I'm going to show you the difference between 22 mag and 22 LR. 22 LR and 22 mag. Okay, now let me show you. Now this is common 22 El Cheapo 22 LR, and this is a bulk box of 800. And I pretty much could get not quite 800 of these in there. Then again, if I packed the box tight, I might could, but I mean, really, I could probably get at least 700 in this box. And this box only weighs about 8, 9, 10 pounds, maybe somewhere between 8 and 10 pounds, I'd guess. I might be wrong. There might be 11, but I really think they're on between 8 and 10 pounds, and it's 800 rounds. So when you're thinking about carrying a lot of ammo and carrying light, that does go a long way. Now let me show you the difference between the two. I'm gonna kind of hold them up here. I want you to see how much longer that the 22 Magnum is. And basically the 22 Magnum, you see that, this one right here, this is the 22 Magnum, this is the 22 LR. And you can see that 22 LR, that's this guy right here, he's a lot smaller, and that's a size comparison. That's a lot smaller. And the reason why it's so much smaller, basically it's got the same 22 bullet right there, except it's got a lot more powder backing it up. Like these only have a advertised velocity of 1,200 rounds. This one has an advertised velocity of 1,910 rounds. So that actually is quite a bit more power. I mean, that's actually quite a bit more feet per second. And then when you translate that into foot-pounds of energy, it's quite a bit more powerful. Like right now, they got something called the 22 TCM out there, which is really fast and really powerful. But as compared to some of the other, what they would consider 22 caliber bullets, let's say the 22 250, the 223, they're both considered a 22 caliber bullet, and the 22 Hornet is all more powerful than these. But these make a very quiet sound too. They're not loud. You shoot a 22 250, it's going to be loud. You shoot a 223, it's loud. The muzzle blast is loud on those things. But if you shoot this, well, I can't always say that. You got subsonic stuff with a suppressor, silencer. So yeah, it can be whisper quiet. It can be very, very quiet. Trust me. But with the 223, but you know, I mean, we're talking about getting back to reality here, of just all around general. Well, now I'm not talking about getting back to reality. I'm just saying about all around having a general all around purpose round. So why my opinion that 22 Magnum is the ultimate caliber for survival. Okay. Now I always say that I would kind of back this up with the 357 handgun. And the 357 handgun, I'd be able to hunt deer. I'd be able to hunt a bigger game. Probably could kill a bear if I really wanted to, but I really wouldn't think about it too much. But I could, and so I kill a deer. I kill a bigger game with 357, and I could also do, protection for bear, many different things, and people, for self-defense purposes. But the 22 Magnum actually can kill a deer. There's actually people who poultry, and the poulters, what they do, they'll carry a 22 Magnum rifle and beside them in the car, and they'll be driving down the street, and they'll look over there and they'll see a deer over here, and they'll pull that 22 Magnum up, pow, pop that deer, and they'll sit there and just pop that freaking deer in the head. And the deer not really paying much attention to traffic. They usually don't think that traffic's much of a they don't really think of much as a threat, Nobody ever really usually tries to shoot from the road, but poulters do. They carry a 22 Magnum rifle with them, and they just pow, they just pop that friggin' deer, and going up the road a little bit, wait, see if any kind of game wardens or anybody comes around and shows up. They ride back down and collect the prize, and they do it with the 22 Magnum. There's actually if you ever watched that one Swamp People, that lady carries a 22 Magnum handgun, and she'll actually just pull right up. She takes the 22 Magnum handgun. A lot of them people do. They take the 22 Magnum handgun and kind of shoot them with in between the eyes, or they have a 22 Magnum rifle, and they'll sit there and kill an 18-foot alligator with one of these, the 22 Magnum. So it's a lot more powerful round than I think a lot of people give it credit for. And the real benefit, in my opinion, too, is my daddy one time told me a long time ago that he was out trying to shoot a dang groundhog. He was out trying to shoot a groundhog a long time ago. He was telling me about, and he said he shot the thing with a 410 and this and that. The lady asked him to kill this groundhog that was out underneath her underneath her woodshed. She said he kept on digging up her flowers and messing up her garden. He said, would you please kill that groundhog for me? So my daddy, not my stepdad, my daddy, he pulled out I think he said he had a 410 or something like that at that time, and he said he shot that thing, and he said he'd just shoot it, and then it would. He said he thought that'd be enough to kill it. He said apparently there's so much fat on those things that it just wouldn't kill it. He said no matter how many times I shot that dang thing, I didn't kill it. And he said finally the lady comes out the back door. He said the lady comes out the back door and said, Roddy, what's all that shooting about? And my daddy said, well, I've been trying to kill that groundhog you told me to kill. And then she said, well, what? Why are you trying to kill it with the 410? Get a freaking 22 Magnum. And my daddy said he said it was actually true. These will kill a groundhog, and that's a fact. You can look it up. 22 Magnums will kill a groundhog. He actually told me one time he had an over/under 12 gauge, and he said he missed with the friggin' 12 gauge, and he took a 22. He said the squirrel was hopping from one tree to the next. My dad always told me this story. And he said it was hopping from one tree to the next, and he took a 22 Magnum and shot him right in the middle of the area. He fell down. He said he just went pow, fell straight down, and he said he died. These things, people underestimate seriously with the right shot placement and what you can do with the 22 Magnum. These things are a lot more powerful. They're a lot more capable of doing a lot more things than I think a lot of people give them credit for, really. So a lot of people say carry a 22 caliber of some sort. Everybody wants to go for 22 LR. Well, 22 LR has one advantage over 22 Magnum. You can buy more bullets cheaper. As simple as that. You can buy a lot more bullets cheaper because they mass produce these things by the billions, by the millions. And so many people just overlook the 22 Magnum. But if I was going to choose one as a survival gun, I would choose this. And for one thing, too, about 22 Magnum, let's say I'd carry a 223, and well, 223, a box about this size would be a box about this size, and a 223 would be only 200 rounds. That's 800 rounds. So I'm gonna say if I put 22 Magnums in here, I'm gonna say 700 rounds. I'm gonna kind of give it a little more space. 700. That's 700 rounds, not 200 rounds. A 22 Magnum. And on top of that, if I had a 223 and I wanted to shoot squirrels and stuff like that, or some kind of smaller game, there's not going to be much left of the squirrel. There's not going to be much meat there left to eat after I shoot that thing with a 223. That's something to really think about. You're not going to have much left of meat-wise. So one thing about 22 Magnums, you're going to have plenty of meat left to eat after you kill it. And you can also go along. You can just be out bullfrog hunting, and most of the time that's done with a frog gig. But some people just go along and they take a 22. They see a frog, they shoot it, and they just shoot the frog, go along, pick up their stuff. You can also do this with a pellet rifle. Pellet rifles is another pretty decent choice if you got the right pellet rifle. Good quality pellet rifle. That's something preferably about a 25 caliber. It's not about a high quality one. I'm not talking about junk. I'm talking about something you paid a decent amount of money for, at least probably $500 or so. Something that's going to last you a lifetime, or you might get a good one for about $300, but really you're going to pay pretty decent money. And so, why I think that this, like I said, I just think that you'd be able to carry so much more ammo. You'd be able to, 1,000 rounds of this would be nothing to carry. It just wouldn't. And the possibilities of what you can do with 22 Magnum is endless. It just depends on you as a person how well you can shoot. But if you can shoot well and you have that ability that you as a person is able to shoot plenty of, shoot very well and everything else, you should be able to handle. I mean, you should be able to kill whatever you're aiming at within about that 100-yard range. Like I said, this is advertised 1,910 feet per second. I think that this would probably be standard out of an 18-inch barrel, maybe a 16-inch barrel, but maybe an 18-inch barrel. So probably standard, probably out of an 18-inch barrel. But if I was going to, I already got one. I already got a Savage Savage bolt action rifle. I just didn't bring it out because I'm tired of digging that stuff out of the gun safe. I just am. Uh, but anyway, see, like I said, I think that this makes pretty much the best all around survival. Shit hits the fan. SHTF. Shit hits the fizzy. Uh, Gun caliber is, in my opinion. I've looked at every other caliber. I've thought about every other caliber, and I kind of could agree with a lot of people when they. I think the all around best gun you could have, in my opinion, for every kind of purpose of any kind of thing. But you would never be able to carry enough ammo for it. But in my opinion, the best all around for every single purpose and every single thing is a 12 gauge shotgun. Period. Hands down, it's always going to be king. It just is. Bird hunting, deer hunting, home defense, personal defense. You cannot beat a 12 gauge shotgun. There's nothing beats a 12 gauge. It just doesn't. 12 gauge is king. It always will be. But at the same time, though, this right here would only be about probably 40 rounds of 12 gauge ammo, then I'm out. That's 40 rounds. This is 700 rounds of 22 Magnum ammo. And on top, this would be 700 rounds. And on top of that, if I had it paired up with the 357, and let's say that I only needed 400 or 500 rounds, that's about 10 boxes. Well, 10 boxes, this would be equivalent to about 4 boxes. So let's say I just take, I take a brick about this big, put it in my backpack, and that's ammo. All right. So let's just say I take a brick about this big, put it in my backpack, and that's ammo. So, just when I look at it from every kind of angle, every kind of perspective, every way I can think about it, I cannot think of anything in any which one way that beats 22 Magnum. You guys might disagree with me, might think something different. Some people would even think, 17 HMR. And that would be smaller, that would be lighter, but I don't agree. I don't know if that would necessarily kill an animal. I seen one thing where this guy actually shot a moose in the friggin' eye with one of these 22. It's on YouTube, but I don't know how to look it up. But I seen it on YouTube. You can probably look it up. But I seen it. 22. This guy is a shorts. And this guy killed a moose with a 22 Magnum. I'm surprised Canada or any place would allow them to do that. But he shot the thing right in the eye, and it went through this eye, and blew the freaking thing's brains out. He shot it right. He aimed right, hit it right in the eye. Boom, boom, blew the freaking brains out. Shot him right in the head. Killed a freaking moose with a 22 Magnum caliber. But don't get me wrong now, there's definitely other options out there, but let's say the 22 TCM is also only a handgun caliber. Alright, so, and it's also not going to carry as much, so you probably go from 800 down to probably about like 600, and it's quite a bit more expensive. I think 22 TCM is something like $1,200 for 2,000 rounds, I believe. But it's a centerfire cartridge. It actually does have the advantage of being a centerfire. But I don't think anybody ever reloads it. Then again, I could be wrong. They said they sell a lot of TCM ammo. But I think if I pair this up with the 22 with a 357 Magnum, that I would be in pretty much set, because 357 Magnum would be pretty much prime thing for hunting, killing deer and bigger game and stuff like that. And then for everything else, foxes, squirrels, rabbits, rats, raccoons, snakes, anything else. This would pretty much be king. This would pretty much be it. Now that's my opinion. And my opinion is, why would you want to take something that's a little less weaker, that's proven to not necessarily have the quality control that the 22 mag has? Because these 22 mags, they're pretty expensive boxes for the ammo. The quality assurance is better on 22 mag. So but you will still get maybe 2 duds out of every. Let's say 2 duds out of 1,000, so you got 4 duds out of 2,000 rounds. If you got that, you might only have 2 duds out of 2,000 rounds. Then again, you might have none if you're really lucky. But anyway, well, actually, it's not really a dud. Most time, what it is, you just have to basically take it and put it back in the gun, and then you shoot it again. You kind of like drop it back in the gun, and you kind of shoot it again. Most people think that you have to pretty much throw it away. Well, if you go and hit it, if you do a double tap the second time, it will pretty much fire. Most people just don't know that. But anyway, be good at it, and think about what I said. But 22 Magnum, that's my opinion. The best SHTF gun is 22 Magnum. That's just one I would pick. And the sound barrier is quiet, much more quieter. It's a bit louder. You can definitely tell a lot more. You can definitely tell more of a kick than you can with the. You can definitely tell a lot more kick than you can with this. But it's not near as bad as some of the rest. And you're talking about a 40 grain bullet going at 1,910 feet per second. So you're kind of getting up there around the power of about close to 223, not quite 223, but you're getting up there around close to the power of 223. But 223 definitely is more powerful. It moves at about 3,000 feet per second compared to the 2,000 feet, but it does get up there a little more closer. So think about that. 22 Win Mag, excellent choice. That's my opinion, and I think you should definitely think about it. That's my opinion. The best SHTF bullet there is.